for parent and for those that will probably have it in mind one day to even have their children, for those that maybe they are planning right now to have children, please beware and don't be a repetition of what your parents actually did to you. Don't repeat, same things that you did experience with your parents. Just look carefully, and the most important thing is that have it in your mind that I want to raise a happy child. Being a parent does not mean you are going to be able to solve all the problems that will come into your child's life or that your child will probably experience, because as children grow, they start changing the way they view life. They start changing and start developing and having their own belief. So children will grow and get to a stage that they just want to experience life for themselves. So even though that as a parent that I am, and as a wonderful parent that you guys also are, or the ones that are going to be planning to have children someday, we have to come to terms to understand that a child will get to say time in their life that they just want to experience the life on their own. They become very curious. They want to understand the world that involve around them. It might be something that we're probably scared of as a parent. It might be that they're about to take some certain risks that even we ourselves, we are kind of like, we don't see ourselves taking it. Or it might be that maybe they are just saying things that they want to be able to ask us questions, and just knowing the fact that we grew up, for example, with parents that were never taught, or they never had the time to sit down next to us and just be able to listen to us, to be able to understand our word, to be able to get our just listen to our own opinion, even if they probably maybe abide with it or they don't abide with it. But for the fact that we just you have that parent that can just sit next to you and just let you yab all along or all day, and they can just just give you that ear to listen to. Or sometimes as a child, sometimes I remember when I was young, sometimes they are saying things that you hear from your peer groups, and you come home, you're just so inquisitive, or sometimes you just have those questions that just keep popping in your mind or in your brain that you want to ask your parents when you get home. Just ask yourself, when you have that parent that cannot answer the question, or they cannot really give you a clear understanding, what's going to happen? It's not like you're going to let go, because most times those words are still stuck somewhere in your mind. So if you're not careful, most times we just go out and start asking other people, but how are we sure? And another thing, when a person outside gives you a clear understanding of what you would have loved your parents to give you, those people become like a family, and you start building so much trust with those people. You start asking yourself some question that, why can't my mom, why can't my dad, sit me down, or just sit next to me and be able to answer me, question that that is just kind of like bothering me on my mind, things that I hear within my peer groups. Why can't my parents just sit next to me and be able to explain to me? So that's the reason why I'm using the opportunity to empower parents out there, and for those, as I mentioned, that will be looking forward to have children someday, that just because your parent never care for you does not mean that you shouldn't care for your children. Just because your parents never had the time, or they never like kind of like were able to organize their own between their working life and their personal life to spend quality time with you, to be able to take you to the park, to be able to take you out, to be able to experience life that has to do with between you and them, does not mean that is probably the right way of doing it. So you can make a change. Being a mom now, you can still make a change, because remember, I always say that wherever that happens to you that you never know, or wherever that you're doing that you never know, as long as you start getting some information, you can start putting things in place. It doesn't mean that you're a bad parent, because remember, not everybody have access to information that really explain if they're doing the right thing as a parent. So most times it's just like trying an error thing most times, but we don't know that most cases it actually lead our children in the bad path. It actually like kind of like make our children start detaching away from us, or drift away from us, and they start finding those type of relationship with their peer group. They start finding that relationship with a stranger outside, just because we never knew that those are the things that they needed from us. Because as I say, children need the simplest things. Say things that as a parent we might just think that it's not important. It is important. It's not about spending the whole day at home with your children and just sit down watching movie and everything that really shows that the children are really getting so much from you as a parent. There are little things that you can do that is so amazing. You just create that opportunity for parents and the child to be able to have that relationship and have that connection, be able to communicate. And it also depends on the way you come across as a parent, the way you're so free, the way you're so open, the way you allow your children to speak without interrupting them, without blocking them out. We just let them be themselves, let them be able to open up their heart and be able to see you as a role model, be able to see you that like a parent that they can be able to go to, because energy, it draws. When the person is connected to their parent, you can feel it, because they can feel that they are not being judged. They can feel that they can be themselves. They can feel that you're not going to judge them just because they cannot read, just because they cannot write, just because they are not like their other siblings, but they just feel that connection. They feel accepted. They feel that they are just loved unconditionally. So that is the reason why I strongly use the opportunity to empower parents that when you are home with your children, when you are not at work, don't focus on giving that time with friends instead of you building it with your children. Take your children out to the park. Let them see the way you're showing love to their mom if you're still with their mom, even if you're not with their mom. But let them see that you're respecting their mom. Let them see that you appreciate their mom. Let them see that you actually treating their mom very well. Let them feel your presence. Let them see that you're able to come up and say, you know what, let's take a walk in the park. Why don't we just go and take a walk? Why don't we go and visit some family member? And just so you create those bond and you be able to listen and relax, because remember, our children model who we are. They copy everything that we're doing. So before outsider take over in their life, but remember, when you're not doing the same things that you're meant to do, it's so easy for other people to welcome them into their home. So I strongly believe that by the time you start building some little bond, little things can create a lot of differences. Even just staying with them in the kitchen and cooking with them, have a conversation with them, ask them how is their day, what things that they want to discuss with you. Just find out, because the more you relax with your children, the more you open, they are able to just open up and communicate with you. Sometimes they are saying things that they've been hiding away from you for a very, very long time, and it just come out very, very naturally that they want to really share. And I hope I got you inspired.